Big news in the world of gaming and NFTs, and part of this is all happening in a place you may not expect, and that's France. Starting with this headline right here, I want to go into NFT games are not to be considered gambling. 437 members voted for the adoption, 77 against it, so pretty much unanimous. A couple other things that are interesting. This will pave the way for a potential new regulatory framework specifically tailored to crypto games, distinct from gambling and traditional video games. So this is a big deal. Gambling platforms, though, may move into the play-to-earn space. So like the Web3 sector that we've already seen a lot of activity over there. And then Urbane is also the state-controlled betting system. This is interesting because it's already entered the crypto space via its fantasy horse racing game Stable. So we've seen that. Remember Zedrun and many of those? You guys probably saw a lot of those in the last, if you've been around that long, saw a lot of those in the last degen side of the crypto run-up. There was quite a few that went into that space, and that is the play and earn, or having much more fun. Sorare was one of the leaders in this sector, and the reason is at the time they were really tied into the football, now not American football, but football, and they did a really good job with it. And we actually had them on the network like 2 years ago. Let's go to a clip from that. Listen in. Now you guys have 140 clubs licensed right now. Like, what would be the ultimate goal for the system? Enough of these clubs in that this just becomes a worldwide phenomenon.
Obviously, we need to onboard more clubs and licenses, but we also need to build an amazing product that becomes fully viral. In the next 5 years, we'll see clubs like Manchester United, create digital cards of their players on Sorare, create NFTs that enable access to offline experiences with players at the training camp, at the stadium. The ultimate goal of that will be to improve the connectedness of fans with the club and the players that is lacking today, especially during COVID times.
I think this is going to be a hit for you guys. All right, so you can kind of see that's old school Tech Path. In case you guys didn't know, we had that show 2 years ago breaking down a lot of this new technology that was really breaking out in the sports side. Now they're at 363 licensed teams. They're plugged into the NBA. Just to look at the Sorare current transactions, you can kind of see it right there, almost 1.2 million transactions currently on Sorare. So not bad for them, and good for, I think, the NFT side of how fans will engage with clubs in the future. And then they're also going to allow others to build tools and experiences around these Sorare cards. So more expansion, interoperability already available on this platform. So they definitely took the right kind of step. I want to go to another clip talking about ETH rewards and tickets some of their roadmap. Listen in.
Do you guys see a path where you have competitions that say, yes, we are giving card rewards, but at some point you're going to have to give something else because there are not enough cards to give away?
I think that and you already see this in football, you see it in baseball, it's moving into NBA. I think a year ago, Sorare's reward pool was cards. And today, Sorare's reward pool is cards, cash or ETH, right? Coins and the associated things you can exchange them for in the club shop, and in real life rewards as direct pricing, right? And I think looking at that full portfolio, we are going to construct competitions moving forward that leverage all of those things. Like, I personally would love to win tickets to, the NBA All-Star game, or a Celtics jersey, or, cash, right?
Not to say that winning tickets is bad, but is there kind of what is the solution then? If I win, I'm right outside of New York and I win Lakers tickets tomorrow, I can't really easily fly to LA. Well, technically I can, but it's costing me more than what the tickets are probably worth. So what's the thinking in terms of giving away tickets as prizes to people who may not be able to utilize them?
I want to go to another clip here, which explains a little bit more around the NFT ticketing side and how this might work. Listen in.
Need to sell tickets for an event? From Sports Illustrated's official ticketing platform, introducing Box Office. Manage ticketing for sports, festivals, fundraisers, and more, paid or free. List your local event right alongside NBA games and Beyonce concerts. And always know your sales figures. Introducing the all-new Super Ticket. Super Tickets are secured by blockchain technology and transform into exclusive digital content, promotions, and rewards between the event and guests. Cheaper, better, simpler, more secure.
All right, I would say that Eventbrite has a lot to worry about because that's exactly, they need to be able to go and leap into that. Sports Illustrated has a great captured audience, especially around this, so I think it ties into it. This was a CoinDesk article on Sports Illustrated launching the NFT ticketing platform on Polygon. So that's, again, gets back into transactions, all those kind of things that play into NFTs on layer 2s, which we've talked about here quite a bit on the show. I want to go to another clip real quick. And the next clip we get into here is more around who else in the market could play into this. Now, you've seen us talk a lot with and about Cathie Wood and some of her strategies. One of her biggest holdings is DraftKings. Listen into this clip.
Like the kind of peak coming off the end of COVID when people were pretty locked down, like we definitely noticed a big change in a lot of our customers' behavior, like NBA Top Shots, and then ultimately, OpenSea and some of the kind of big boom around NFT digital collectibles became like super prominent. So it was very noticeable. We always notice when our first like golden cohorts of customers move a certain way, you always know what's next, right? So excellent digital marketers were great at building tech, and hey, we need to build a platform that lets us effectively DraftKings Marketplace, like a blockchain-based marketplace solution that lets us play in this space that could become, over the next decades, gigantic, right? So we did a partnership with Polygon. That was really the origin of Reignmakers, which is DraftKings' like primary play. Like we think we can build one of the great games of any kind using this like super novel Web3 tech that's really just now kind of shaping up and becoming more prominent. Really, if we were reporting it on some of the big, NFT sales trackers and stuff, it was like the top project a bunch of weeks in the entire space.
So look at some of the numbers here, though. Matthew Siegel, which we've had on the show from Van Eck, and Ryland Wood, they talk about digital assets that Reignmakers account for $52 million in sales, around 2% of their DraftKings total revenue during that span. They also estimate that the next 4 quarters, NFT-based fantasy games will drive revenue north of $70 million, or about 3%, with accounting as possibly as much as 5% of the gaming company's profits. I want you to just step back for a second and think about this, because this is very low adoption right now in terms of the market, very small. I'd say a fraction of 1% in terms of the market. Can you imagine where this is going to be? Just think about fantasy football's growth cycle and then apply this to NFTs and how this might play out in the future. Further in the article, they talk about this and what it might look like. While we don't have access to the data showing cost of revenue, we assume the margins to be about 90%, basically no cost of production. Customer acquisition costs can be mitigated across selling opportunities. Base case, we estimate the profits from Reignmakers business line could boost DraftKings up quite a bit, representing about 5% of their 2022 EPS, so their earnings. I want to go to another clip real quick and get into the idea around Reignmakers and how big this might get. Just watch this ad.
Welcome to DraftKings Reignmakers Football, where digital card collecting and fantasy football collide. Each card represents an athlete and scores points based on their real-world performance.
Reignmakers cards have some serious benefits.
Once you own them, you can draft them in weekly contests to win your share of $30 million in prizes.
Or you can sell them anytime on the secondary market. Don't just draft a fantasy team, own one.
This is great. I love this. This to me is just extending the brand of American football out there further, much like what Sorare is doing in Europe with the obvious football leagues of around the world. But you look at the transaction numbers and it tells a little bit of a different story here. Here's, of course, DraftKings right here on Polygon. And you can see it right there, 22 million transactions right now. So pretty significant, guys. This is just the beginning of where all this is going. I want to show you a tweet. This, of course, is another platform out there, Rollbit, just to give an example of their growth right here. Solana right there in the middle, in the red there, so you can kind of see a little bit more on the depositors coming in for Rollbit. And if you look at their chart, this is another one right here. This is the Rollbit chart. This is the all-time, and you look at price, we'll go to market cap, also jumping up significantly. All of this market is going to explode. The other company that is ironically not in the discussion right now has been Barstool Sports, which just recently, repurchased their situation from Penn. all of this is all around sports. And if this is going to get into where it's not gambling, imagine if we could get that approved here in the United States, like what they've done in France. This gets interesting pretty quickly. Here, this is around what the France NFT market estimate reports, about a $3.8 billion market by just 2028. The NFT market number of users is expected to, in the amount of 254,000 users by 27. Penetration about 0.3 in 2023, expected to hit 0.4 by 27. If this takes off, I think that might be a very shallow number, very underestimated there. Remember, 27, we're going in, that's a 3-year cycle to grow 1%, especially if you get approval in some of these countries where we see big adoption going forward. So I don't know. I'm still a little bit questioning on that. All right, so here's France's top modern art museum, also displaying CryptoPunks, autoglyphs, etc., and NFTs. So you can kind of see their culture a little bit different, well, quite a bit different here than the US. So are they more, inclined to go this direction? Obviously, what we've seen with the French win, from a legislative standpoint, this could be pretty big. Jumping over to Twitter right here, just a reminder for you guys, if you did not check out NFT Paris when we covered that a few months ago, this was the line, okay? Let me highlight that. That was the line right there. Look at that. It was a mile long to get into NFT Paris. Crazy stuff out there, crazy stuff. Tell me this market is not going to explode. For sure, gonna happen. Now, the problem that you have is that, remember, a couple of months ago, Hong Kong started to emerge as what could be the next epic, location for growth in blockchain, NFTs, all that. Then we had the JPEG scandal, which caused a lot of Hong Kong residents to lose quite a bit of trust in crypto in general. And that is 41% of Hong Kong people prefer not to hold virtual assets now, up to 12% percentage points from a previous survey that was out there. So this is a big shift in the psychological effect of how these things happen. And when you do have hits like this on a market that is in quick uptake, that's a problem. Further in this article, it says the most popular type of virtual assets that respondents are interested in holding is Bitcoin, 73, followed by NFTs at 24 and ETH at 21. There's going to be a hot spot that is going to develop for sure. Just to give you an example of Hashkey, don't forget, this was also announced not too long ago. These are all authorized and approved tokens that are now trading on Hashkey. The only one that really is one of those alternative assets has been Avalanche. So they snuck in under the wire, and being the only one on there, Avalanche may win for the demand that is built or takes some time to rebuild in Hong Kong. Avalanche could win in a big way. I want to wrap up here on the DraftKings chart. You can kind of see something here. I want to show you, this is on the daily, just to show you the growth here in the year. This is year to date, so almost a year in there, 154% growth, almost 3xing from about a $10 stock price up to where it is right now. So pretty significant. Does this continue to take DraftKings? Because if you really squeeze this out, you can see DraftKings did have a run here back in 22, just to show you their all-time high. Let's go to that all-time high right there. All-time high right there, March 21, and that all-time high was $74 per share, which is another 3x from where they're trading right now. All this happening, adoption curves, this will be a slow grind, but I think this is going to be one of those that also wins, is one of those things that we're watching from a tech perspective. All right, so you're not plugged into the Diamond Circle, get in now. It's one of the best places to get additional content from us, including the new show that converted from our Diamond Circle Plus podcast to a new show that's going to be available out there called the Web3 Business and Gaming Podcast. Kyle will still be the host of it, and it's going to be coming out twice a week now. So lots happening there. Hit the link down below. We've got some TA videos you can't get on here on YouTube, but you do get them on Substack. So all you have to do is join. If you guys want to catch me out there on X, it's @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.